Hello, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Motivational strategies. This is the new podcast series we are going to start. This is going to be the first speech. Every new path in Toastmasters starts with an icebreaker. In icebreaker, the speaker is supposed to explain about himself and what's his envision about the path and about his journey. So we are going to present this. Let's start. Let me explain you about myself. I am not unfamiliar with Toastmasters at all. I was with Toastmasters or Speak Make, those kind of clubs earlier from my childhood. But I was not really the member till last, like, I become the member first time in 2013. Till that I was not member, but I was fully aware of how Toastmaster works and what are they. So how my Toastmasters journey started? It was sheerly an accident, I could say. I was searching on internet for my daughter's public speech. She was going to give one public speech and I was trying to see where she can actually give. And I got the Toastmasters club. I took her there. We attended the first meeting together. But I will tell you, actually, I was the one ended up with getting the membership. And that's how my recent journey started. At the start, the meetings used to be in person, and I remember like I gave plenty of speeches as per the current manual at that time. The manual was a confident communicator manual, and we have to give the speeches based upon the objective, and they will be evaluated. Also, I went through the multiple uh, other roles in the Toastmaster Club, and I achieved my confident communicator certification in the first phase of my journey. After 2 years, I had to take hiatus because of job change and travel, etc. When like it was work from home era came in the because of the COVID, so that time I thought of rejoining the Toastmasters Club again, and my current journey starts from there. Good thing was like we were able to join on the Zoom meeting, and because the in person was not available, so that helped, and I was able to achieve all the time participation, because earlier because of the job and everything, the participation sometimes I was not able to, but because of the virtual meetings option, my second journey was, I would say, I had a very high attendance in the meeting, and I went through the Toastmasters Club thoroughly. When I joined second time, it was the pattern was little change. So earlier there was confident communicator manual, but this time it was path. So when I started my next this current journey, so I had to choose one path to start with. I discussed with fellow educational secretary, and they were wonderful people, and I come up with I chose the path which is called dynamic leadership. Very hot topic. Every executive or every professional would love that, because leadership is part of every kind of projects. When giving the speeches, I try to make sure that I live through that the objectives, and I try to do research, and then I present myself. It was if you go to the leadership, then I mean there will be plethora of books will be available in the library. So you have to see and then you can present it. But what I thought was like I wanted to give my opinion. It's like one-to-one opinion, and that's what I chose. So all the time, what I do is I was trying to give my views or my thoughts behind it. I gave like 15-20 speeches based upon the requirement. Like there are 5 levels, and I achieved it. So it was such a wonderful feeling when I completed it. So most of the speeches I was giving via Zoom meetings, but some of the speeches I was able to give even in person, and it was very good experience. I would say I was as per the I got a very critical feedbacks, and I would say, in my opinion, I took that and I'm better than my previous version, according to me. So, but I would always get the, I would let the evaluators to give me the feedback, and I would always like to uh, continuously thrive and change and improve. But if I if I'm my evaluator, then I would say definitely better than where I started with. So this current journey when I started with and now it helped me a lot. As per the advice, I try to record myself, trying to do through Zoom. I created plenty of podcasts. So if you refer, some of you refer my previous podcast series on dynamic leadership, you would see that journey, because those all the videos or recordings are unedited. They were not used through teleprompter, and I presented one-to-one ideas. There were plenty of things you will see or give opinion about, but that was original, authentic, and I gave as a one-to-one, and which let me improve myself. So that's how my Toastmaster journey in the current phase was going. And I was able to go through the feedbacks, and I improved myself, and I achieved the I completed the path. So it was really wonderful feeling, and so I was suggested, and I think somebody suggested me to go for the next path. That's really, I would think, it's an achievement, and I'm feeling good about myself. So this is what we are doing in the new path. Again, there was a choice what to choose. I think there were options like go for presentation summary, or some few other options were there. But I chose motivational strategies, because this topic will exactly coordinate with my previous topic, which was dynamic leadership. We know the leadership has multiple inherent styles or attributes, and motivational strategies is the, in my opinion, is the most important one. So that's why I chose this path. So in order to start with the new path, I wanted to see myself, uh, uh, my journey in my previous path, how I thought about it, or how I went with it in terms of topics. So every topic, when we want to present speech, I try to give anecdotes, I try to give examples, I try to add humor, and I presented short or long stories behind it to explain the point, because that's how it connects with the audience and it explains your point. That's what was the main objective from my side. Apart from the every path, every speech will have its own objective, which I try to follow, like body language, then connecting with audience, and then verbal, visual, how we present it. Since the meetings were online, so probably I was missing the point, like move around the lectern and then take in charge, because I was able to give personal, like a face-to-face speeches very less number of times. But probably I will try to improve in the next path. So I will try to give more in-person speeches. So that way I will use the space to give the speech, because currently when I was giving podcasts and everything, so I was exactly sitting on the chair, and then I wouldn't use the floor space. So I would change that. So those are about the demographics. But how about the content? So leadership is a very, very hot topic for every professional, I would say. There are multiple types of professionals, but every professional will have leadership as a very important topic. Now let's start with an anecdote. People say life is a war. You have heard that. Life is a war, fight it. So who else has started that probably single line wanted to give an opinion that in your life there will be struggle and all kind of thing, like be brave and fight it. So I got a idea from that. So I most of the time I provided the anecdote. Life is a war, fight it. But life is a project, lead it. So it's not necessary you have to be a leader in like your workspace or something. If you consider your life as a project, you could be leader of yourself, and that's the best thing. You may have your mentors, gurus, and everybody, but ultimately you should lead yourself, and that's the main thing. Because if you are not leading yourself, your mentors, gurus, really what they can, I mean, that won't be more at all effective if it's not coming through you. So life is a project, lead it. So that's the anecdote I use multiple times. So when I was going through the leadership styles, there are multiple attributes are there, and I try to talk about it. So if you go through my podcast, so please see what are my opinions. And so ultimately I could give you the gist that I thought what is the best type of leadership that is like which suits to the current occasion or whatever the current problem you are facing. That's the type of leadership you should present. Because earlier there used to be like one type leader will have one attribute, prominent attribute, and that's how they will be knowing like it's a motivational leader or like a charismatic leader or all kind of things we know. But we have to see what leadership style is good, which suits to the occasion or which suits to the current problem what we are facing. So that was the thing. So that's what I concluded with various examples. Those who went through my podcast, they told me like, okay, I mean, we understood what are you trying to say, but you always give the historic examples or why you are not in the current. So I thought of explaining about that. Why I didn't give the current examples? The reason being because they are in front of us and they have a plenty of people we talked about it, and as I said, the plethora of things are there which you could always go over it. So I thought giving from the historic things, and I try to look at from my angle like what those historic figures how they represented. So I gave like a soliloquy speech about King Alexander, and also I gave from Christopher Columbus. So I wanted to see from leadership style or how they thought about it and why they were successful. And I think if you see my speeches, so I think I try to present that. So I considered that speech I was giving like a eyes. That means I was trying to put into that shoes, and then how King Alexander will feel. It was a great feeling, I would say. If some common man is thinking he is a King Alexander, then it's such a great feeling. So, and then you should be able to think about that. So I tried it. I mean, I don't say more than that. So I tried to be thinking as a King Alexander, and so why he was successful. So I try to present that. So it was a great feeling, and I was trying to analyze what kind of leadership style or why he was so successful over others, provided they may have the same kind of attributes or apparatus or settings, but he was successful versus not. So I was able to prove that okay, the assimilation, that's the greatest leadership style probably presented, and see how such a great way it was taken. And from before that or after that also, that very less time that happened. So that shows the difference. Also, I gave the examples of Genghis Khan or Christopher Columbus. So those were my favorites. And I did not give few more, like I wanted to give about uh, Emperor Napoleon as well, but I did not give that more. But I will probably in this time I will give. So those were the historical figures, and I wanted to think from that style, their perspective, and I will tell you what it will look like. So that's a soliloquy style of presentation, and hope you like it. And you can also, that will tell you to think like that. So how the historical figures, or like even current figures, you can think about that. So when you think from their side, or those goggles, or those point of view, then it gives the probably different things, or different perspective, or different view. That's which will be great for the leader, because you need to understand the team. Or as I said, like life is a project, then that will also give us even you are whatever, it gives us the perspective that okay, how it will perceived from the other angles. So I emphasize more on that always. Apart from that, other leadership style I explained, and I went through various other attributes. I think people like the content, so they have some feedback, and I liked it. So in the current one, I will be following the same pattern, and I will be doing the motivational strategy. So I will try to take the historical examples as well as the current one, equate with the current one, how I think about it, and we will go over with examples, anecdote examples, stories, and some humor, because that way thing becomes a little bit more interesting. So in our next speeches in this series, we can expect this. So that was about the vision of the next in this series. So I think we achieved the objective of the icebreaker. To give about idea about then why motivational strategy, probably that apparently we should discuss more about it. We definitely know there is a difference between leadership is present and leadership is not present, provided all the assets and apparatus and environment and everything is there. But the terms of success may be different, depends upon how the things are led, or how the we can see the current examples. So I had one story about how the different leaderships are present, and in the same situation they were not present. So we know at the time of Christopher Columbus, that idea was there to find the sea route to the east. So if you see that time, the people have the idea like go to the south to go to east. That means sail parallel to the landmass, and some way landmass finishes, you will get the passage to the sea to the east. Go to the north and go to east, probably that idea was not there. But go to west to go to east, right? That was probably, even if we say that statement, like go to west to go to east, I mean it's crazy. So at that time it was absolutely, because people didn't even know earth is round or flat. So following those suit that okay, earth is definitely round, and with my understanding or whatever logic or stories I followed, there you go to west, and the uncharted ocean you cross, and there will be you will go to east. You need that kind of craziness as well. So I wanted to prove that. So that's the point I wanted to explain. So how the motivation strategies come, there will be different motivations are there always, but how you pursue it or how you follow it. So, and there is no formula like okay, this and that is great, or which suits to the current application or whatever. That's how you should be. That's how the thing should be. So that's the theme. We will giving the more examples. So definitely I will give more examples about historical sense and in the current sense as well. So in the current sense, we know that we have great figures starting with say Jack Welch or Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, my favorite, and plenty of others. We have so many artists, writers, presidents, and leaders everywhere. We can see everywhere, and we can see there are different leadership styles and how they motivated to do certain things. So that That's where we will try to see and elaborate certain strategies with examples and anecdotes. Well, so that's how the next steps will be. And so I would say stay tuned, and we will meet in the next week again for the next episode. Thank you very much and have a great day.